Everybody, this is Gary Newman, Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Monday, June 30th, 2025. So, the Bulls finally got it to that 6,200. The trade that I was talking about this morning, in the morning notes actually played out as planned. And we took once we got this gap up, really the trade is coming back down to close this gap here. So we got it, once it came up to these levels, it was right up near that 61.95. We closed the trade at the 61.75. Could have went long. Obviously, that was the better trade on it after that, but it was just a little too risky on it. And I actually had I hedged the trade with IWM, and that one, it did not work out as planned. We ended up about breaking even with the fund with it, but in any case, right now we're going into July. It's a holiday shortened week, so we could see the S&P grind higher. If we're just looking at where possibly, that's a 5-minute chart. Let me we could use this. This one actually makes sense on it. So you can see if we're going to be, say, following this wedge right here, you can see that there's, up top here, we're looking right around that 62.30, somewhere in that range. So I think it's going to start getting a little bit choppy. We, made it to the destination, the 6,200. I wouldn't be surprised to see some backing and filling back down somewhere 61.88, but more likely down somewhere to this level here at the 61.65. And then really come Wednesday, it's only a half a day, so there's going to be really zero volume. And Friday, most likely, we're going to have most of the bigwigs that are going to be, taking really probably a 5-day weekend because they're going to be gone on Wednesday. Thursday, the markets are closed. Friday, they're not going to come back. So we're really looking at sometime into next week where, we're due for a little bit of a correction. Right now, there's just too many bulls in here. And again, when I say this, a pullback and stuff, I'm bearish on this market. I went market neutral. I told you that, when I was doing that, started layering into some of the quantum stocks just last week. I put that into the trade room. Some of them were up like 15-20% today. So that worked, and that's really where I went to market neutral, and I've been trading the S&P on a day-to-day basis. Whether it goes up or down, it doesn't really make a difference. But right now we have, if we're looking at things, the hourly chart is, again, showing sell signals right here. The daily chart, that's not it. Hang on one second. Okay, so daily chart, you can see we got sell signals. And as I've been saying, it's, these sell signals can stay, in sell signals for a while, but it's going to, when the market does turn, it's probably going to catch a lot of people by surprise. Like I said, I'm patient. We got the majority of the gains on this one. I just been, building up the quantum stocks and, just trading the S&P on a day-to-day basis. So this pattern right here is looking for a move to come down to the 50-day moving average. This is the bearish wolf wave here, and that's looking for probably right around somewhere this is showing right around the 5,900 level. So that would actually make sense if we have that, if something like that takes place. And really it would just really take place, probably throughout July in that range. And then, August into the fall, we're probably going to be making new all-time highs. But I think once we come into the winter time or, into that late November, December, I think things are going to get pretty bearish again. But right now, the bulls are really just, grinding away. But we have these sell signals that are on each chart. So, one can go long and just hope that it doesn't end when it does. But right now, like I said, I'm open-minded on if it continues higher or not. Doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. We just, we're building up the quantum stocks. So we have the sell signals on the 60-minute charts. Now, if we're going to look at really what areas of support. So this is what I have down. We have the first support is obviously going to be these highs right here. That's at 61.48. If they lose that, this is important support right here. That's the 60.66. And then this is the really important support, which is at the 59.60. And if we look, that kind of matches up with by the time if it got down there. with the 50-day moving average. So this is really going to be my first downside target. If we lose that, that's when you start looking at some of these gaps getting filled. But right now, I'm just really looking at some type of pullback to take us somewhere down to the 59.60, possibly even just coming and closing this gap here. But until we see, the support levels getting broke, it's, the bulls are in control. I think this low volume is going to be it's they could grind it higher, but I still think it's going to be a little bit choppy moving forward. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Really not that, there's not that much more even offer to relay on it. We have sell signals on each chart. This is really that wedge that I'm looking at, or this trend line. And you can see we hit that one. And when we take a look at the 5-minute one, which is a shorter, it's allowing it to move up somewhere up into the 62.30. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.